In this video, we're going to talk about Shohei Ohtani and where he's going to end up. And according to reports, there's two teams that could be in the market next offseason. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Mets. And this video starts right now. So as you know, the New York Mets are going on a 10-game road trip out to California this week and next week, starting in Oakland for 3 games. Then they play the Dodgers and they play the Giants. Oakland's bad. They're the worst team in baseball right now. But you don't want to play any games. The Mets should do pretty good there. Kodai Senga is going to start. I will cover some of it for tomorrow. I'll watch the game. I'll post a video on him tomorrow. And that'll be an interesting way to start the road trip. Mets can't lay down. They played okay. As you know, they played okay. They only lost that one series against the Milwaukee Brewers, but for the most part, we know some of the issues, kind of the same issues that we've seen over the last month of last year, and this year sort of popped up. But anyway, so Shohei Ohtani, show me the money. Probably the first major league player to get a $500 million contract. And why $500 million? Well, it's very simple. He's two players. He's two position players. He's the pitcher, and of course, he is a designated hitter. Someone had mentioned to me a while ago, well, why doesn't he play the outfield? And I'm like, what, are you trying to kill the guy? You don't want to kill the guy. You got to give him a break. But he would, on the market, would probably get $250 million as a hitter and $250 million as a position player. So his value is he's invaluable because nobody, and the hut means nobody, has ever done what he has done over the course of his career, and he's elevated his market so high over the last 2 years that even the great Babe Ruth had never done that. Now, Ruth was a pitcher in his early part of his career, as you know, and then when last year in Boston, he became an everyday player, and with the Yankees, he was an everyday player. I would mention that he did pitch some games for the Yankees during his years with the Yankees. So there were times that he pitched games. In fact, he's part of a no-hitter with the Yankees. I think he pitched one batter, got thrown out of the game by the umpire, and then a guy came in. It was a combined no-hitter. But he never did this. He never did both at the same time. Obviously, he was no designated hitter. Obviously, you had the 4-man rotations back then. It wasn't a 5-man rotation, especially when he pitched. There was no 5-man rotations. That didn't come into vogue until the late 60s, in which was highlighted by our New York Mets in '69 with the 5-man rotation. But really, he never did that. So what Ohtani is doing is uncharted territory as a position player and as a pitcher, and just as a major league professional. Nobody has ever done this. So as you know, the Dodgers this past offseason did not sign any big players. It's pretty obvious that they're basically making sure they don't bring in any big expenditures into their franchise, and they're going to be a big player for Ohtani. And the New York Mets are going to be there too. We've known that since Steve Cohen has taken over, and Ohtani has really lit up the world over the last 2 years. So we have two competing teams mainly. The question is, in this situation, does Ohtani want to play on the East Coast? If he wants to play on the East Coast, the Mets will be there till the end to sign him. Now, when he signed the contract with the Anaheim Angels or the Los Angeles Angels or whatever they call themselves these days, he wanted to be on the West Coast. And as you know, he was signed by the Mets general manager, Billy Epler, when he was with the Angels. There was only one team that came out that was away from California, from the West Coast, that wanted to sign him. That was the Cubs. They weren't really in the running, but they were one of the 5 teams that was interested in him. And there was really, at the time, there was no sort of thought that he'd want to play on the East Coast. Now, has that changed? I couldn't tell you. It seems like a lot of people are saying that hasn't changed. He just wants to play on the West Coast, or even in maybe the central part of the country. Who knows? Who knows what his temperament is? But if he were to come here, there is a lot of pressure here, And there's a lot of pressure here with the New York Mets, obviously. And is he going to want to play here with all the pressure? There's no pressure in Anaheim. I mean, he's got a great player out there. That team is not any good. They're still not good. They obviously have issues still there. We know what happened to Anthony Rendon. He got into a fight with a fan in Oakland, of all places. There's one. I didn't even know they had any fans sitting in Oakland. And the guy's yelling at a fan, cursing him out, trying to hit him, And, you need to be better than that. But that tells you how dysfunctional the Angels still are under the ownership of Artie Moreno. That shouldn't happen if you have a very good owner and a very good manager there. So there's still a lot of dysfunction there. I don't think he's going to stay there. I don't believe that the Angels are going to trade him. And so he's going to leave. I mean, that's pretty obvious. So does he want to play on the East Coast? Does he want to play with the New York Mets? Is he going to want to be on a team that already has a Japanese player on it with Kodai Senga? We've never seen a team that's had two big Japanese stars on one team in the States or in North America. We haven't seen that yet. I don't know where. Well, maybe Sasaki when he was with the Mariners and Ichiro. Remember Sasaki, the closer for the Mariners there for a few years. But we're going to find out. It's going to happen very quickly. The year is going to go very quick. It's going to be like the season's going to go so fast. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to find out what happens. There's going to be a lot of rumors going into the August 1st trading deadline when it comes to Ohtani. Is he going to sign? Is he going to resign with the Angels? Are the Angels going to trade him? I think ultimately the Angels will hold on to him. They don't want to lose the attraction that he is. Even though they're a bad team, they don't want to move him. They don't want to lose him. So, but it's interesting to talk about him. He's such a unicorn, really. I mean, we've never seen any player like him. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.